Welcome to Healthy Choices with your host, Ray Solano from Austin, Texas. Now, here's your host, Ray Solano.
Hi, this is Ray Solano, owner of PD Lab Specialty Pharmacy located in Cedar Park, Texas. We're a nationally licensed specialty compounding pharmacy that focuses on prevention and natural medicines and with the fusion with pharmaceuticals that really can reverse chronic conditions and get people back to their normal health. And the big word is prevention. And so that's what we focus our pharmacy on and our clinical services group. And we actually have partnered with a number of practitioners all across the country. And we've got Dr. Marianne Pinkston, who's going to be joining us today, that is one of the leaders in integrative medicine here in Central Texas, that really has taken a step off to the other side to be able to help patients prevent chronic conditions and chronic disease. Imagine that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. The topic of today's discussion is going to be Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which we all know is out there. If anybody watches any football games or is going to any airports, everything is shrouded in pink. And so what we want to talk about is prevention, breast cancer prevention, as opposed to breast cancer awareness. Big difference. And that's what we want to make people aware of, that there are things you can do besides just screenings and eating pink jelly beans and all that. So anyway, I'd like to introduce our first guest today, and that's Dr. Marianne Pinkston. Welcome to Healthy Choices.
Hi, it's great to be on, Ray, and nice to see you as always. Thank you.
Well, do you like our topic today? Is that does it get everybody all excited, or do you think
Yes.
they'll just be bored?
No, I think this is a great topic. I think everybody is truly interested, but I agree with you. I think everybody has been derailed a little bit to think about things like screening for early detection, not for prevention, but you and I are on the cutting edge of this. We like the whole preventative idea so much better.
Well, just to give people a little bit of background, you've dealt with some health challenges over the years, and you've overcome them. So maybe just take a couple minutes and just share with our audience of understanding of your journey toward improved health, so we can get people to understand that when you say something, you're talking from experience.
Thank you. I appreciate that opportunity. Yes, I have been in medicine for 25 years now, but about 15 years ago, I developed rheumatoid arthritis, a pretty significant and debilitating autoimmune condition. And due to that, I became very, very ill, hormones off balance, gained a lot of weight. I gained up to 300 pounds, taking steroids and all the inflammatory issues. And it took a while for me to understand, and lots of hours and time with the A4M, the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and to get a new degree in integrative medicine, where I take holistic side and the contemporary side, allopathic side of medicine, bring them together and integrate them to try to improve not only my life, but all of my patients' lives. And through that, I lost 162 pounds, but I wasn't thwarted with a lot of obstacles. I had melanoma, I had cancer of my own. I've had a lot of issues that have popped up, but through more integrative style medicine and your help and the help of Jim LaValle and everybody, I was able to take control of my life and my health again. So yes, I've spent probably almost $20,000 in an education now outside of the education of medical school in order to do this style of medicine. I believe in it very, very much, very passionate about it. Saved my life and has saved a lot of lives of other people as well, my patients.
Well, that's people to need to understand. Integrative medicine is a postgraduate level
Yes.
course that requires additional training. This is not something that you would aspire or get out of your board certification or traditional
Absolutely.
medical school training. And so this is why it's important for people to connect with an integrative medicine professional, because guess what? It's really important to realize that chronic conditions and chronic disease is not standard. And I think with people, chronic blood pressure is not something that you have to deal with
Right.
5 different pharmaceuticals because the first 2 don't work.
Right.
And also type 2 diabetes is not something you just caught because you sat around and drank too much beer one weekend. It's just something that it happens over a period of years.
Yes.
And then arthritis too. Sometimes some forms of arthritis are inflammatory conditions. So all these chronic conditions, and recent research has shown that our abilities to reverse chronic disease has gotten worse. And
Yes.
so the people that are suffering from chronic conditions now is worse than it was 50 years ago. So
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, but your health care insurance has doubled in the last 50 years, and everything has gone up. And I think we're spending so much more money on health care that I think we really want to target what's important. And
Absolutely.
and this is why I get a little bit incensed when I see the uh, breast cancer awareness month and all the money that is spent
Right.
on paraphernalia, and
Yeah.
there's not one shred of infomercial, commercial, advertisement. All this media is out there for maybe 3 different things to do on your blood test, or
Right.
3 preventions. Can you imagine that? If people would just be able to get their vitamin D levels, okay?
Yes.
Their Most people's vitamin D levels are so low that they can't be directly linked to many of these chronic conditions, especially breast cancer risk factors, not causing,
Absolutely.
just increased risk factors.
Yes.
Um, but
So I find that when I check the vitamin D levels of not just women, but women and men and children of all ages, most everybody is in the 10 to 15 range. And that is scary, to say the very least. That's everybody.
and that's abnormal. But when you think about it, who goes outside anymore? Uh,
Right.
if you're in Central Texas, it's 105 for 6 months of the year. It was crazy this year,
Right.
and
Yes.
so not many people are just walking outside. So unfortunately, I think a little bit of COVID scariness, and people
Yeah.
didn't go outside. It's a lot of fear but we
Right.
need to re-educate everybody, especially on sunshine. But my favorite that I wanted just to talk about is sugar.
Right.
One of my topics, or one of my hallmark phrases, I call it the Super Bowl of sugar.
I love that.
You like that? And it
Yeah.
starts at Halloween. I snuck into the pharmacy the other day, and somebody had snuck this big bag of candy
Right.
into one of the drawers, and I just, it was just got me so upset. It took me 2 hours to calm down. But it's starting now. Is that you're going to see all these children are going to be trained on how to eat more sugar, and then everybody's going to have tons of it in 2 weeks, and then it's going to be laying around for another month because nobody knows what to do with it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden people become sugar junkies
Yeah.
again, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We see it every year this time.
You know, it's not just a bunch of wacky people talking about it. This has been proven for years, and I want to
Mhm.
just show up to our listeners here. They can see this. This is a
Yes.
book
Right.
by Otto Warburger. Okay, this work was published in the 30s. Okay,
Mm.
Ravenous. It talks about the insatiable appetite of cancer cells for glucose.
Right.
And yes, your body has natural glucose, but what Otto Warburger found out that if you can choke off that food supply, okay, there's been a number of products out there that can choke that off. You stop the proliferations or the metastases of many bad cancer cells. So this is why it's really important that there is a direct link that it increases the risk factors of proliferating cancer cells. So think about that. Uh, and so maybe we can maybe fear people that maybe sugar is not good for them. Do you got any tips? I mean, I don't know. I think I have. I lost all my confidence when I showed up and I saw this bag of candy at the pharmacy. Maybe you can give me some
You know,
choices.
it is absolutely very difficult because sugar stimulates the same area of the brain that cocaine and heroin and even nicotine stimulate, therefore making you extremely addicted. And it hits those pleasure centers. So how can you turn away from something that makes you feel so good? We self-medicate with sugar. And so it's very difficult to get people away from it. I was one of those at 300 pounds. I had to figure out how to cut that off. It was extremely difficult. And a lot of people will jump to sugar-free substances to try to control that, not realizing those sugar-free substances do exactly the same thing that sugar does. Hits those insulin in the body. Insulin's very, very reactive to glucose. It's very inflammatory, and it shows us that there's a high glucose load going on underneath, destroying and growing feeding all that inflammation and cancers. And so we've got to get away from it completely. We're not talking about carbohydrates, good carbohydrates like vegetables and things like that. We're talking about pure sugar. There's a very big difference.
Well, to be a little clinical, to get a little clinical for a few minutes, because a lot of our podcast listeners want to know, what do I do first? I think
Right.
it's very simple. Look at your blood test. It's a simple blood test that you have with your practitioner. If you
Yes.
don't have access to them, give us a call. But look at your blood test. What's your hemoglobin A1C? You see it on the commercials. We're not getting too technical. You got 15 commercials within an hour
Right.
that talk about hemoglobin A1C.
Yes.
It's an average of blood sugars over a period of time. Your numbers, they're talking about numbers to be 7. We want people to reverse the aging process. They should be in the 5s. I mean,
Yes.
not 7 or 8.
Right.
It's crazy. And then
It's
the
on.
other thing is, you talked about your vitamin D levels. I think your vitamin D levels need to be north of 50. I mean,
Yes.
it's simple. It's a simple supplements, or you can go outside and in a bathing suit every day for an hour. Pick your what you want to do. Um,
Truth.
and then also to realize is that if you are over, let's say 15 pounds over your normal weight, you are
Hmm.
at risk that for inflammation. It's not
Right.
just okay, or you're big boned, or you have to get to the gym. I think people to understand that means your metabolism is offline.
Yes.
That you're lowering your sedentary rate. You're unfortunately you may have been yo-yoing before diets, and you're
Yeah.
slowing your metabolism, like you've seen.
Yes.
And you've got to raise that up and also put the right fuel in. It's not going to the gym and working out harder,
Right.
because it's not going to work. It's like
Right.
I use the car example. Okay, I don't have any fuel in the tank, but I'm just going to go 100 miles an hour. Let's see if we can just last a little longer. It doesn't work. You got to change your food, okay?
Right.
And I think right now with flu season coming up, it's going to be the forecast from different parts of the world globally. It's going to be a rough one.
It
So
is.
you get people to realize, get started now. Uh,
Absolutely.
get yourself in shape, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it is all about the fuel that you are putting into your body. It's not about eating one meal a day. Oh, I don't eat much. I just have one meal a day. You're slowing down your metabolism. It's not necessarily about keto diets either, getting rid of all carbohydrates in your diet. You're doing the same thing. You're burning muscle, slowing down. Slow down your metabolism. You just need to eat real food that is fibrous and nutritious. Stay away from the pure sugars. And yeah, the activity is good. I like weightlifting over the cardio most of the time, but those are very simple things that you can do. to keep your, inflammation down, your body weight down, and stress and sleep, I think, are the other two things I mentioned to people as well. Keeping your stress under control, getting a good night's rest. Those are all the things that you do. And none of that is on your health insurance and covered by your health insurance. What can you do?
What can you do? But you know what? Between the two of us, we can at least make a difference in a few people's lives. Maybe, if, Dr. Pinkston, you can give our listeners your contact information.
Sure.
That you can give us some hope to get started on the journey to better health.
Thank you. I would love to. And so most of my information really is very easy. Go to drpbetterlife.com, and you can even find some shows there with Ray and I talking about this very thing this morning, actually. And so drpbetterlife.com. You can also call my office at 210-698-7825, but you can reach me through Ray and the pharmacy there at pdlabsrx.com. I'm always happy to be associated with PD Labs.
Well, we always enjoy having you and taking care of your patients. And for
Thank
all
you.
of our listeners, we're available. We're nationwide licensed. We can have practitioners in many different parts of the country. Give us a call at 888-909-0110. And our website is pdlabsrx.com. And if you check us out, you'll see that we've been doing this for many, many years and have thousands of people that we've been able to help. So we'd like to be able to help you as well. That phone number is 888-909-0110. And check out our website. I think you'll find it a lot of tutorials, free information, pdlabsrx.com, and we'll be happy to give you a call. Thank you very much, and we'll be back next week for another edition of Surviving the Next Thanksgiving Assault on all of our food. So, Dr. Pinkston, maybe we'll have you back again if you've got some time free. We can give people some tips on how to survive the holidays.
I'm always available to you and your fans. I appreciate you so much. Absolutely.
Well, great. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for listening to Healthy Choices Podcast. Okay.